And it's a slow burn. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. It does feel like homework at time because
Oh, I hate homework.
it's kind of like guys talking in a room.
Yeah.
It's one of those
It's kind of like
movies.
this.
Hello,
Recording.
internet.
Hi, internet.
How are you? Sorry. I guess it doesn't matter. You don't know that we're 10 minutes late because I was fucking around with all my settings
10 minutes.
because I have
Yes.
OCD because this isn't live.
We're
You,
10 minutes late to whenever you're watching this.
yeah, you wouldn't have known. I just blurted it out. So to go with our fun summer theme, I got this new background that I made with AI, but the one redeeming factor is I used my own photo of a leaf and then I got it AI'd into a cartoon. But the whole neon sign thing, that's all out. That's all AI. Thank you, Grok. I guess
I think I
we owe
might make
you.
my own background now, just out of
Ooh.
spite. I will make an actual background. Just like I'll compose one. I will
Yeah.
make one, and people will complain and be like, "That sucks." And I'm like, "Whatever. I made it. I didn't have to rely on a computer to generate it
Yeah.
for me. I generated it for me, and it sucks because I made it."
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I want to make stuff by myself, but the computer I have all my design software on is like 15 years old
Yeah.
and it takes for fucking ever to do anything. And it has like not pirated Adobe Photoshop and
He's like,
InDesign.
winky, winky.
And then I was like, you know what? I make enough money. I can afford to just like get a
No,
subscription
no, you
base
can't. It's
for
very expensive.
InDesign and Photoshop, but you can't just get InDesign
You
and
have to buy
Photoshop.
CC now. You got to buy the whole thing, the Creative
Yeah.
Cloud, baby.
And InDesign by itself is $30 a month. And I don't know if you guys know how little money I make from doing design stuff. It's like once
it's
a week I'll make 20
it's not
cents
30
off the
bucks a month.
sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not $30 a month. So that's why I use AI. Sorry, not sorry. But also it's June. So that means two things.
What?
One, it's Pride Month.
It
And
is
two, it's Summer Shirt Month.
summer
All
shirt
right.
month. Oh, I'm
Summer, well,
wearing
not month,
the
but
same black t-shirts I always wear
I
every
was
time,
like,
all year round.
yeah,
Goth
I
for the
was like,
win.
I gotta find a shirt because I was wearing some like disgusting wife beaters. Like, I gotta find a
Yeah.
shirt for the podcast for the people. I
I was
can't be
gonna say I like your
disgusting.
shirt.
And then I was like, oh, summer golf
Summer
shirt.
shirts.
It's June. I could get
It
away
is
with
June.
it. It's
It's gonna be really
officially
nice here.
summer golf shirt. And I got it open to not show
Oh,
chest hair, but instead a tattoo.
nice. Look at
So
you.
I got a badass tattoo so I wouldn't have to worry about my baby smooth chest with sparse chest hair.
Oh my god, I would kill for that. I'm covered in hair from
Oh my
all the way,
god, dude.
except for on the head, on my head where I need it.
I mean, on one hand, I've never had to shave my chest. I did shave my chest when I had this tattoo because
Yeah,
you
you have
can't
to.
tattoo
You
over
have to
hair.
do that.
And but I
Yeah.
also this is like a month's growth. So I only have to shave sparsely every once in a while. It sucks because I can't grow a full beard and be like beard daddy like Jeff,
Yeah.
but I don't have to shave if I don't want to for like weeks at a time.
That's that's the dream. I took this down
Yeah.
yesterday. It was super long, so
Oh
I
yeah.
trimmed it out yesterday.
The only
This is the
problem
shortest it's
is
been in a long time.
it grows right there only, so I get
Yeah.
like that disgusting incel neck beard thing.
Yeah, you get
So
neck beard.
yeah, so I
Mine's
base yeah.
invisible now. Like we talked about
Ooh.
this before. I think like this. I have
Oh
a beard,
yeah.
but it's gray back here, so you don't
Oh
see
yeah,
any
nice. A silver fox.
silver fox. Yeah,
I'm thankfully I'm blonde, so you can't tell that this is half gray.
yeah, that's awesome.
Otherwise, I was looking at it in the light, and it's seriously like half gray. If
Yeah,
it was dark, I would be like salt and pepper up
and
there
you can't
too. But
tell. It's totally yeah, it's
I
totally
know.
cool. Yeah, see, like I have
Yeah.
dark hair, so you can see in my beard, it's all gray
Hmm.
now. Gray and
That's
was
true.
brown and used to be brown.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to say happy Pride Month to everybody. I feel like now it's more important. Like for the last like 5 years, I've been like, Pride Month? Do we really aren't we all okay with the gays now? Like, but now like
It
that
involves so much more
megas
than the gays.
MAGA's being such chuds about every fucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's a
We
little bit more
actually
important.
need Pride Month again.
Yeah,
And that's depressing in itself. It's because it's like you don't want to have to be like, hey, it's okay for people to love non-heteronormative partners. Like, why do we have to make a big deal? But we have to now because fucking
Yeah.
asshole bigots won't shut their fat mouth and just let me be cool and not have to worry about all this stuff and be annoyed. It's almost like 15 years ago or something.
It's disheartening to see it too. Like, um, after so much progress being made, I mean, it's then you
Yeah.
just see it like just fucking sliding backwards, and you're like, uh, let people be who they are.
Yeah. And
Fucking
I mean,
seems easy to me.
on the other hand, it is like the whole like DEI thing got pushed so hard that I was expecting like lashback the other way, but I just didn't realize how annoyed I would be at it when it finally came. So like, I don't know, like they went a bit too far with all the like
Eh, I
drag
don't think.
queen story hour stuff. Like I like, why would you
Wait,
push that?
who went a bit too far? What part was too far? Sorry, I'm just
The
curious. I just
like
want to
the
gauge
social
this part.
justice warrior types online who are like in everybody's faces and making it like it
I feel
wasn't
like
like there was people who were like obnoxious about it. Just like some people were like virtue signaling super loud and made it seem like it was like a way more big authoritarian thing than it was. Like, hey, taking like if you don't do this and like I don't know, it's like whatever the like thing that was happening like 5 years ago, or like yeah, I guess like 5 years ago when it was at its peak, when it was like when they're like if you like if your kids want to be trans, they don't have to tell their parents and all that stuff in elementary schools. Like that was all like the peak of it. And you're like, all right, guys, we got to cool down because the pushback is coming and it's here and it's too far.
I don't. I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think it's
Okay.
too far. I think that it's people trying to represent underrepresented people within our society,
Yeah.
and the people who are taking it as too far. I guess that kind of includes yourself, and I'm not trying to be a turd
It
about
did
it.
go
I'm
too
just
far.
saying
I am. Yeah.
I don't think it went too far. I think it finally got noticed in the media. People got scared because the norm is now broken, and they
Yeah.
decided to have backlash about it.
Well,
So
the thing I thought, like the whole like adults, I don't think it was too far with the adults, but when they're like, you can't like if like 8-year old, if he or she wants to like not be gender normative, then like the school doesn't have to tell the parents shit. Like that's a little too much for me.
I,
Like,
yeah, I mean,
but on the other hand, I would never be the type of parent who I feel like my kid couldn't tell me that.
so then
But
why does it bother you?
the whole thing is it leaves it open to like somebody taking advantage of a young mind and being like, you don't have to tell your parents what we're doing. And it's not like that's what's going to happen every time, but we all know there's fuckers out there. There's terrible people out there.
Yeah, of
And
course
it
there's.
like it builds up the framework for them to take advantage of a young mind. And it's like the thing is, it's like there's no way that I would want my 7-year old kid doing anything that I didn't know about. And like I would
You.
hopefully I would
I
be
mean,
open enough that they would just tell me. But then
I don't.
again, if you have an adult who is nefarious approaches your kid who's 7 and is like its teacher or something and is like, hey, we're gonna do this thing, don't worry, you don't have to tell your parents, it's all cool, and then they could just like get away with not telling you and stuff. Like it just, to me, it just like,
Were you a kid once?
yes, I was.
Did you hide shit from your parents?
Yes.
Kids will always hide stuff from their parents. I know you're not there yet in your
Yeah.
parenting journey. There are things about my child that I don't know. There are things about my child that I'm
Hmm.
never going to know. And I think
Yeah.
like you have to accept that as a parent. And there'd be some people that be like, well, fuck no, my kid's gonna tell me everything. They're not, they're a child. Do you remember when you were a kid? You hid shit
Yeah.
from your parents.
Well,
I
no,
hid
it's
shit from
not.
my parents. You hid shit from
Yeah.
your parents.
But
And
there
I
are
understand where
some
you're going. I
things.
understand where you're going
Yeah.
with it, right? You're thinking so you're kind of conflating two pieces. You're sort of adding the predator piece into that,
Yeah. Well,
right? But that's a
I'm,
different story than a kid hiding a
oh,
gender
yeah, no.
identity from their parent.
Well, like,
I just want you to know that there's two pieces to that. There.
yeah, I know. But like, it's just like, I don't like if someone convinces my kid of something and then they don't legally have to tell me before stuff happens, then I'd be upset. But it's just like, yeah, your kids hide stuff from you,
But
but your
okay,
school tells you like if they get in trouble, if they get in
sometimes
fights.
is your school responsible for your child, or are you responsible for your child?
I don't know.
You're responsible for your child, man. I don't know how to tell you that in any more clear terms. You're
Well, no, I
responsible for
get
your
it. I
child.
just don't want my
If you
school
so
or
talk to your
someone like I don't
talk
want like a
talk to your
possible
child
predator doing stuff with my child that
for
I'm
sure.
not going to know about.
Yeah, for sure. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Some of those things are going to be beyond your control, though. So
Hmm.
your best tactic is talk to your child about it,
Yeah.
right? Make sure your child is well armed and
Hmm.
well armed, literally. No, but no. I'm just kidding. Make sure your child's well armed and knows like how to handle high pressure situations and understand that they're going to be faced with situations that are uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
that's really the best thing you can do for your kid. So I think it's kind of a cop out to say, oh, the school's responsible for my kid, and the school needs to, like, to a degree, the school needs to protect your child. I see, to change this up. This is like when you're on like a strata chat. I'm gonna throw my strata chat under the bus, and
What
someone can,
strategy? Oh, yeah.
like, yeah, your
Yeah.
homeowners group chat, if they
Hmm.
have like or a Facebook group or whatever, and they throw the strata under the bus, or like somebody is making noise outside at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, the strata is not the police,
Yeah.
right? So complaining to people on the strata chat that somebody's annoying you isn't really helping anything, right?
Hmm.
You're playing a victim card and you're not helping yourself. So
Yeah.
go out and talk to that person outside, being like, "Hey, hi, I'm your neighbor. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I work later shifts, and you're being annoying at 4 a.m. Can you please keep the noise down? The city bylaw is actually like you can't make any noise till 8. The gardeners don't start till 8. I don't want you fucking firing
Hmm.
up your Husqvarna at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
right? Please and thank you. If you don't do this, I will register a complaint with the Strata and
Yeah.
we'll escalate this. But please, just out of respect for the neighborhood and for me, do this. But they don't do that. Instead, like, so and so from unit blah 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 is fucking starting up a motor first thing in the morning.
Hmm.
Oh god, I don't want to do anything about it. So instead, I'm going to complain passively to a bunch of people who also live in my neighborhood. Right?
Yeah.
Train yourself, train your child. Have that. You
But
got it.
the
We're
strata
people
should
are
also
scared of
be
hard
able to like
conversations.
the strata should also make rules for the
There
place
are
and
rules.
like
There are
put up
rules for that.
signs. It's like,
There are rules
hey,
for that.
stop
And
making
they,
noises at this early in
exactly.
the
And
morning.
then they can follow their bylaws
Yeah.
to follow that through. But complaining about it on the strata chat is the equivalent of being like, a predator picked up my kid and you didn't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
but the whole reason I brought up this whole predator
Yeah.
thing was it was my example of how they went too far. And it's like
Right.
you and me obviously disagree. And
Circle it back to Pride Month,
I feel
right?
like too many people are to the right of my opinion as well as yours. So that
Yeah.
was my example of them pushing too far. So then it swung back. So now we actually need pride so that people can enjoy their freedoms to love who they want to love and
I
be
don't
who they
think,
want to be.
and I think to the point of that is that like Pride and DEI aren't going anywhere. It'll just be celebrated, or
DEI is going. D
it's not
not
going. It's not
not
going. It's not
okay,
going to
okay. No,
leave.
no, 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 no. We got it. Okay, not DEI like we need diversity in the workplace. DEI as in the like structured thing that came out of ESG
Sure.
that came out like that whole like
Yeah,
cottage
The American version of it
industry.
that people are all up in
Yeah,
arms
like
about
the
that
thing
isn't
that
like what
started
it's actually happening.
as a way to evaluate
Yeah.
businesses for investing. It's kind of annoying because when you say DEI, it sounds like you're mad that they're like are people of color in your workplace, but it's like for me when I say DEI, I mean specifically the thing that came from like environmental, social, and governance, like that whole
Yeah.
ESG, like totally
And before that,
convoluted
it was corporate social
construction.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Your business was valued on how well you do for the environment, or how well you do for your community, or how well you do for that. And that's
yeah.
still, guess what? That's not gone. It's just part of the program now.
No, but I
So
know,
in a
but
few
like
years, DEI will just be part of the program.
DEI was a way to juke and loophole the governance and
It's
environmental
it's
part.
like it's like one of like a million things that people use to juke and fuck with governance of
Yeah, but
organizations.
my whole point
It's one
was,
thing. And
yeah,
so this is the whole tactic. You get people all pissed off about DEI, and then you're missing all the legal shit and the other fraud that's going on within
yeah,
every
exactly.
organization, and like the other ways that money is being usurped or
Yeah,
taken out. Have you watched do you watch those Untold stories, or is it Untold on Netflix?
Oh, the
I watched the one about Brett Favre the other day and how he was like funneling money from local Missouri.
oh yeah,
Um,
into his fucking
oh, sorry,
kids.
allegedly into his kid's school to build like a professional volleyball
Yeah,
stadium, and into his own company and into his own wallet.
yeah,
So like,
that's
so
fucked.
like, while you're getting mad about DEI and while people are like
Yeah,
getting pissed off about like elevating others to have equal opportunities and chances
yeah,
who maybe aren't white or straight or fucking have all their hands or whatever, while you're
yeah,
getting mad about this, Brett Favre is fucking siphoning money from welfare to build a volleyball stadium allegedly, and giving himself money and feeding into his company for that is a fake medical company.
yeah. And the whole thing
like
is
like you're
they
missing all those
pushed,
other things,
yeah, they
right?
pushed like DEI, and then everybody got upset,
Yes,
and now it's swinging back the other way. That was
right.
my whole point.
I
That's
got
it.
it. I got your point.
Well, we
Yeah.
can move on. I don't know. I didn't mean to like waste 15, but hey, that's what we're here
But no,
for.
this is what
We're here
conversation
to
this
have
is how conversations are.
conversations.
It's
Yeah.
Pride Month, and you have to have these. And this is it
Oh
comes
yeah.
back to my initial thing, and you and I have done that on this show a number of times. Sometimes you have to have
Yeah.
hard conversations with each other.
Mhm.
It doesn't and like this is where the internet and you and I are different.
Yeah.
Right? At the internet, this conversation would be over. Fuck you, I'm blocking you. This guy's
Oh
an
yeah.
asshole, flame you on the message boards, blah, 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 whatever. In real
Mhm.
life, two people should be able to have a conversation,
Oh
disagree
yeah,
with each other,
definitely.
and still have conversations again in the future, because that's how communication fucking works.
Yeah, and then you stay like we're gonna stay friends.
Yeah.
I hope.
No, fuck you. This is a block,
Oh
block,
man,
ended.
could you imagine?
I'm
Oh,
not gonna block
how?
you for that.
No, I know. I'm just like hypothetical.
Yeah.
How bad and like
Mm,
ignorant would I have
mm.
to be on here for you to like seriously be like, I don't know if I can talk to this guy
I feel
anymore?
like you're testing the waters right now. You're like,
Well, like,
how far can I push? How
well,
far will
like
the line?
hypothetically, like
I
for
don't know. You've already
me,
said enough stuff that pisses me off, but that's what kind of
well,
makes
for
this
me,
show
you would have to
genius, I
be
guess.
like,
Have I ever said anything that pisses you off?
oh, yeah, all the
Well,
time.
yeah, right. Like it's just
No,
that's
what I'm talking
life.
about is like hypothetically,
Okay,
okay, pretend it's not me because you love me too much, whatever.
I know.
What would
It's
it
hard. This is
take?
hard.
Like you like okay, here's a good one. Acquaintance. You
Yeah,
used to work with them, you kind of stayed in touch on Facebook or whatever. You go for coffee maybe once or twice a year or whatever. You see
yeah.
them here and there. What would it take for you to be like, man, I'm never talking to that fucker again?
Huh.
You know what?
You know.
I'll tell you what mine would be.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Tell me what yours is.
I find out they're like an actual white supremacist.
Yeah, I think that would be that would be up
I'd
there
be
for
like,
sure.
nope, that's
I
it.
think there's probably a couple of things before that that would
Yeah.
push me, but that's definitely one for sure.
Well, like I
Like,
mean, like you just like you find like you see like a swastika tattoo,
oh
and
yeah,
you're like,
totally.
yo, is that from a past life that you rehabilitated from, and like you keep it as a
Nope.
memory for? And they're like, no, this is my beliefs. I'd be
That's
like,
my
all right, see you
like
later.
regular beliefs. I'm like, cool,
Yeah,
I can no longer associate with you.
yeah.
And I think that's like I was having this conversation with myself the other day just about like what are my
I
no, I
love
was
that.
seriously, I was thinking about this. I was like, what are my limits? What are my hills to die
What
on?
are
And
my red lines?
what are my red lines? I try to be so I don't know, and this is hard. I sometimes question myself about like how flexible I am with things.
Hmm.
Should I be more
Like
stringent
sexually?
sexually? Yeah, I can put my feet behind that. But
Sorry, don't.
that's,
I didn't mean to
that's no,
derail you.
no. But you know what I mean, though, right? Like,
Oh yeah, no
uh,
doubt. I definitely know.
I am I. I've seen people of high moral character or whatever, or high supposed moral character, where they're like they stick to their beliefs and they're praised for it, and they stick to their beliefs so much that they're an asshole to people that don't believe the same thing that they
Oh
believe.
yeah, like
Right?
they're
So
almost
you
like
know what I'm talking about. It's religious
exclusion.
dogma to a point,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Like you meet people that are like that, and they're like they will not move off of that fence post. Fence post. That's a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. They're not going to move off of that stance,
Yeah.
right? And to the degree that they will be a complete dick about it, regardless, right? To people who don't
Hmm.
believe, but people who are the exact same as them, they welcome them with open arms. Blah 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 blah. All met
Yeah.
these people, right? And I'm trying to think of like the last time I really had a blowout with somebody, like an actual argument or like an
Hmm.
actual thing where like, fuck you, man, I'm out. Like I'm done with this. And it's been a really, 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 really long time since that's happened.
Yeah.
Since I've actually had that. For the most part, I'll stay malleable
Hmm.
and not malleable enough to like I'm not going to change my beliefs to fit someone else's beliefs.
Yeah.
But if someone can stay fluid with what I'm doing, cool
Yeah.
beans. But if you're not, I don't know, man. It's like I don't know where my lines are sometimes, I guess. So it would
Mhm.
have to be pretty bad. And like being a neo-Nazi fascist fucker would be like pretty high on the list of that. But that's
Yeah.
an easy target because there's other things that are um like say what I'm just gonna I don't know I can throw I just I don't know and I don't want to be like the guy that throws stones. I'm not a perfect human being. I try my best. I do what I can. I try to be lovable. I try to like do what I need
Yeah.
to do to get by and like make things happen. I want to be liked. I was raised in that generation where like nobody
Mhm.
liked me, so I needed to be liked. I had to like make that happen
Oh, I
myself.
like you, Jeff.
Thanks, man. And
Mhm.
I just like you know
Well,
yearn
it's like
for that attention a
that's
little bit. And so I need to be a little flexible in order to keep that going, I
yeah,
guess, you
that's
know?
why this would never happen because you're like a guy who's considerate of others and you have a
Yeah.
working sense of empathy.
Which,
So you're like,
which,
I
uh,
would,
which has cost me in the past. Like people take advantage of that.
it's
They
worth it.
fucking take
Yeah.
advantage of that. Right.
But
And so
at
like,
the
and it
end,
pisses
yeah.
me off because like I'm no further ahead. And could I be more further ahead if I did that too and was an asshole and like took advantage of people?
Yeah, but if you're an asshole, then it's like the whole empathy thing, like you're a nice guy and people take advantage of you. There's like a point where you have to like stand up for yourself. But you also like if you start to be this is what I tell myself at least. Like if I was a complete dickhead all the time, I feel like that I even if I got ahead that way, I wouldn't be happy because it would almost feel like blood money because you'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah. You'd
I
feel
got
dirty about it.
this,
Right.
but the way I got it went against my core beliefs and what I feel like a good person should be.
Yeah.
And then it's like also too like I don't know if this happens to you like you think about times when you are mean to people
Yeah. I totally
and
do.
it's like 10
At two
years
o'clock in the
later and you're
morning. Yeah.
like,
At 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 years later.
oh,
Yeah. Totally.
damn it.
I should have been nicer to that person. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Right. And they don't even ever think about you. So
But
it's
and
like that's the other part of
yeah.
it, right? I think too much about people that don't give a fuck about me, and I have to stop doing that.
And the problem and the one of the good ways to look at it is it's almost narcissistic to look at this, but like say you're sitting there and you're thinking of your regrets of the past. When you think about the times you were mean to someone, you're like, that was fuck. I feel like shit for what I did. But then when you think about the times in the past where you were too nice, you're like, that other person is a piece of shit for taking advantage of me. So
Yeah.
it's almost like self-serving because you can look back and you don't feel like regret and shame. You maybe if you like let them take big enough advantage of you, but
Yeah.
it's like you get it's almost like a free pass because you're like that person was a jerk to me, they took advantage of me, it was them as the problem, not me.
Right. Yeah.
So the moral of the story is be nice to people so you can be a narcissist in 10 years when you're thinking about your past actions.
I, you know what? You kind of hit on something there too, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe that's why I stay flexible because it's not always the other person's fault,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe it was my fault a little bit too. And I guess I have that mindset where I think about maybe it comes from journalism. It comes from this. It comes from like having to have two sides of the story. Maybe I
Mm.
wasn't as flexible as I should have been there. Maybe they were a jerk, but maybe I also pushed back too hard, right?
Yeah, but
Maybe I
that's
could have been
that's
more
also
flexible
like
here.
that's a level of wisdom that it's like a level of wisdom when you're like if someone's a jerk, you're like, wait, what the fuck? You're not just like, oh, they're a total jerk, fuck them forever. You're like, okay, what was actually going on here? And then
Yeah.
you like start thinking about the psychology of it, and you're like, were they actually that big of a jerk? Was I like doing that thing where you see something in someone else that you hate in yourself, like
Oh
the
yeah,
Jungian
man.
thing? Were you
We
doing
always
that?
love in others that
Or
we
was
hate
it
in ourselves.
yeah, was it them actually being a jerk? And that yeah, but that's like the way better way to be because it's like if you look at things from multiple perspectives, you're definitely going to learn. You're more chance to learn a lesson from the things you go through in life.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Mhm.
I hope so.
I hope I didn't
God,
do all this for not
I
learning
hope I did.
fucking
Yeah,
lessons.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Today
Although
on Lesson Factory.
it would be hilarious on your deathbed if you're like, I didn't learn anything.
I didn't learn shit.
I
I went to
refuse to
university for
learn from my
7 years and I
mistakes.
learned nothing.
I'm
Yeah.
102 and I want to learn less for longer.
Yeah, totally. You know what, and I wonder that too. Like sometimes maybe like university fucked me up because it made me think differently about everything. And if I
Oh
just had
yeah.
not gone to college, I would have been fine. I was
Yeah.
like blissfully dummying my way through the universe. Blah, 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 blah.
I could
No
handle
offense to
being
people that
like
don't go to college. There's a lot of smart people.
10% less self-aware. That would be
Oh
nice.
fuck. I think about that. I think about that so much, Dale.
Yeah.
Like if only I were just an ounce more stupid, I would be
Hmm.
so much happier. I would be so much happier.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially right now when it's like basically you have to be like super selfish to like get super famous.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Although I don't even know how I'd want to be super famous.
No, I mean, I was so I started a blue sky, a skeet. I guess I started a blue sky post today.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it because I've been like, I watched that Untold documentary on the Liver King as well. I'll get
Oh,
into that another
dude.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That guy fell off, eh?
oh, I know, and like, well, because he lied to people about steroids, which was
Hmm.
fucking obvious. Anyway, the point is, I was starting a post today because I was actually thinking. I'm just going to say it. I guess I'm just
Blue
talking
sky.
about. I'm going to talk about the post I never made today,
Okay,
and
let's
I'm just
do
going
it.
to say
This
it.
is the place.
Here's where I'm getting concerned.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
What's wrong with Pedro Pascal?
Everybody fucking loves him.
Yeah.
All I see in my feed is people loving this guy.
I love him.
Maybe he's great. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. But people are like, when you hitch your wagon to a celebrity too hard,
Oh,
and then something
yeah.
happens, like say I'm all in on the Liver King and I'm totally gonna fucking follow his rules of living
Yeah.
fucking like a wild person. And then it's like, yoink, I took steroids. This is not natural. I'm totally fucking ripped because
Yeah.
I eat liver. Nope, I take $11,000 a month in steroids, right? And like
Oh,
the
steroids.
curtain comes up. So like I'm worried about this with Pedro Pascal. Like some shit's gonna come out about him.
Like
And
you're waiting for the shoe to drop.
I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and
Hmm.
everybody be like, "Oh, he was so great. I loved him." And I just like, and I can't believe he did this, right? And like I just because I've seen this before. I've seen this happen. We're old enough now. We've lived through enough people who are icons who've
Yeah.
had weird shit happen. We saw Johnny Depp rise and fall. We saw like all these people rise and fall, right? And it's just like, who's the next one? And everybody hitches their wagon to a celebrity, and they're like,
Hmm.
"This person's so great. Oh my god, they speak up for everyone's rights. They're so great." And then somewhere
Yeah.
that person is just a person, and
I
they're gonna
feel
fuck
like,
up somewhere, and then and everyone's gonna turn on them. And
yeah.
I'm worried about this stuff, right?
Okay, so
It's none of my business, but that
here's
was the
my
post.
theory on like people like Pedro Pascal. Since he got super famous when he was older, he was like he was not famous guy for like in his 20s and
Yeah,
30s, like
totally.
because I
Like
feel
us.
like he only got famous when he was like 40 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
I
don't
could
know.
be
I don't know
totally
how old he
wrong.
is. He might be 35. I don't know how old anybody is anymore.
I'm pretty sure he's at least 50, but anyways, my thing, the thing I'm suppositing, my working theory here is that since he got famous when he was older, he already had a good moral compass intact.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
it would be less likely that you'd find out that he like defrauded a whole bunch of people, or he like had like some SA accusations in the
Yeah.
past or whatever.
Yeah.
And another thing I feel about actors, it's like you can always kind of tell what type of person someone is, and that's why you kind of like some actors for no reason and hate other actors. It's almost like it's a subconscious reading. It's like Tom Hanks. It's like subconsciously I don't feel like that guy could do anything bad. And then like it's funny because I heard like him on a podcast and they were talking about, this was like a couple of years ago when he made that like war movie about a boat or something, and he was like he's just like a giant World War II nerd in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So it's like you see a guy like that, or then you see a guy like what the fuck's that guy? The Christian Bale. I've never really liked Christian Bale. I've always like there's something that rubbed me about him the wrong way. And then
Yeah.
that time he had that huge blow up on set when he was like screaming at someone, and then you hear he was like screaming at his sister or his mom or something
Yeah.
in public, and you're like, I always kind of felt like that was
And maybe he
coming.
was the kind of guy that screams at people in public. Yeah,
Yeah, like
totally.
you,
Yeah.
it kind of like there's like nuggets
I
that
guess
just
nuggets of
filter through.
feeling. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. Okay, that's fair.
So I feel like you're safe to love Pedro Pascal
All
with
right,
your
fine.
whole heart, Jeff.
Well,
Your
I don't love
whole
anybody
heart.
with my whole heart. That's a lesson I learned a long time ago. I love everybody with like
Jaded
97% of my
Jeff.
heart. Yeah, I pull
I
3%
love
back
it.
for me.
There you go. You got to keep a handful for yourself.
Yeah, dude. Because I loved someone once with all my heart and it backfired hard. Horde. So yeah, we don't do that anymore. The collective we. So,
Okay. The royal we.
The royal we.
Oh, I did want to mention something before we actually get to a topic.
Oh
I
my
wanted
God.
to do some housekeeping. We were talking about underground bases last week.
Oh yeah,
Not last
You
week,
mentioned
last
this.
episode.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up, and then I like made a mental note. And the problem with Dale and mental notes when we're doing this,
You texted it to me like an hour after we finished the
I know because I
podcast.
forgot to say it, but I'll like make a mental note. I'll be like, bring this up on the podcast. And then me and you are juking and jiving about how much we want to have sex with Pedro Pascal. And then I just forget.
It's so much.
So we were talking about underground bases and how that lady on Tucker Carlson's podcast was saying that since the 80s, there's been like trillions of dollars saved up by the secret elites, so blah, blah, blah. And then I wanted to bring up just like anecdotally that remember did we talk about that on the podcast when they looked below the Pyramid of Giza and they saw like 2 kilometers deep of bullshit or whatever it was with the 8 pillars? I feel like we talked. Okay. So anyways, under the Tower of Giza, if you don't, everybody should know about this, but this thing came out, I think it was like April or March or somewhere in March. So somewhere in March, this thing comes out where they're like, we used some sort of like satellite imagery and radar and ground shaking movement, and we fed it through some software, and we saw below the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it's like this block goes down for like however long, and then there's 8 pylons or 8 cylindrical objects that could be hollow with staircases that wind, and they go down, and then there's like all these corridors underneath that, and they're interlinking. So they're basically, what happened was these Italian guys, they're like, this is what we found. We're gonna like do some more digging with like, or not digging, we're gonna do some more imagery and software stuff, and then we'll get back to you and you'll tell you more stuff. And then nothing happened. And so what had happened was these 2 Italian guys, one guy was like a software engineer and the other guy was this like big occult guy, or not occult guy. He was like a paranormal buff. I can't remember what the actual real term for that is, but he was like into conspiracies and aliens and all that stuff. So what had happened was Italy had this satellite that was just open use. Like you could like, it would take pictures of the ground with some like, and then you could like look at it. And then the guy who wasn't the conspiracy part of this duo, sorry, I didn't look up the terms or whatever, you could Google it. So he made this software that would take the images from the satellite and then like just measure stuff. I don't know how it works, but they tried to explain it and I still didn't understand. So basically, like he takes the images from the satellite, he puts them through the software that he invented, and then he can tell what's underground. Right. And then they were like, oh, we're gonna like because there's like
is it like ground penetrating radar, like GPR?
Yeah, it is, but it isn't, because it's from a satellite, so it's not like LiDAR or whatever.
Yeah,
because the way he explained it, that I understood it, was that they were just like measuring movement in the earth crust and the ground and stuff.
So like seismic movement?
Yeah, I guess. And then like, I don't know. So anyway,
it's interesting that you say that. It's just like, because like I'm a big like geological buff, and this is like right up my alley in terms of like being able to.
Yeah, anyway, I don't want my ignorance of the technology to get us off track or to get wrapped up in the gears. So
get basically to the point of the story.
Okay, so the long story short, he was using like a satellite to look at stuff and then feeding it through his computer, and then he could see underground. So they had the images and stuff, and there's 2 satellites. One is low res because it's old, and then there's a new one that's like high res. So they did the low res one, and they're like, all right, this is what we found. We computed it. Here's some images we made with AI, because they like, I don't know, whatever. And then they're like, we're going to get back to you with some more stuff. We're going to get into the bigger satellite. But then it turns out they were locked out and they couldn't get back in. And they're like, wait, why are we locked out? I thought this was free for use.
Oh, the satellite. Okay.
And then they tried to go back into the low res satellite and they were locked out too. And me, conspiracy enthusiast, they blocked him out because they don't want to fucking hey, right now they're looking at the pyramid and they're seeing all the cool shit under there. But what if they like kind of
Scooch over to the right a little bit and
oh
they see
yeah,
the underground bunkers.
well, yeah, let the fucking earth turn a bit, and then there's like pointing it down at like the US and under LA, and they see all the boring companies tunnels and all that shit.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring that up, that those guys were locked out of their satellites because the satellites were like they didn't
Getting close
intend.
to the truth
Yeah, they didn't intend for people to be able to use these satellites to see
to do that.
underground.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was just the thing that he invented. So, I mean, I don't know what that means, but it's just like maybe that's
Well,
why they got locked out.
who can
And
hmm?
I guess I was the what I'm working at in a roundabout way. Conspiracy, take the ball of red yarn, come over here. It kind of adds credence to what this chick was saying about underground bases because they were locked out of the satellites.
Right.
Yeah.
So the government doesn't want people using free satellite access to generate potential underground bunker zones.
Well, to find the underground
Right.
bunkers.
Okay. Because they want to keep them secret so that in
Mm-hmm.
case the event of war is happening.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my god.
like
What was that show on Disney Plus that was
Paradise.
Paradise? Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god,
So
it's
that I
so
know it's so
good.
good. It's so
Oh, it's
good.
so good. I'm scared because I hope season two isn't like one of those things where it's like because the whole point of the series was like I guess we spoiled it anyways, whatever. If you haven't watched it, watch
Yeah,
it.
you
It's
should
still worth
do
it.
yourself a favor. It's good.
I feel like you were finding more stuff out and like that actually being a bunker was this huge reveal that I
Yeah.
feel like in season two they're gonna have to try to make more big reveals and it might just get too big and away from them and kind of
Right. Yeah, they're gonna
not
have
be
to.
as good as the first season.
Yeah, it's the Kaiser Soze effect.
Yeah,
Once you've seen it, you can't ever go back and watch it again because you know the ending.
that's true.
The wool has been pulled out
Yeah,
from under you. The rug has been pulled out from under you. The wool
yeah.
has
The
been
rug has
pulled
been
over
pulled
your
up. The
eyes.
wool's been pulled off your eyes. The
Something like
wool
that. I don't
rug
know.
has been pulled off your feet eyes.
Next on Mixing Metaphors Factory.
Yeah, it's like M Night Shyamalan's. What the
Yeah.
twist? Once you know the twist,
Don't you know the
but
twist?
God, every
Not,
movie.
it's not even
I
worth
fucking
watching the
loved
show.
every M Night Shyamalan movie
Yeah.
because every twist, I'm like, oh, I didn't see it coming.
Didn't
I
see it
love it.
coming. And that's the whole thing.
Oh God,
That's the whole game.
even A Knock at the Cabin. I was like,
Oh, I haven't watched it
oh,
yet. Don't say anything. I haven't watched it yet. I
oh,
still have to
dude.
watch that. Okay. It's on my
Like
list.
this was me the whole. I was like, really, and then I was like, Psh,
Okay,
what?
sweet. All right. Don't ruin it for me.
Yeah,
I need to watch that still.
and it's a slow burn. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. It does feel like homework at time because it's kind of like
Oh, I hate homework.
guys talking in a room.
Yeah.
It's one of those
It's kind of like
movies.
this.
Yeah.
It's like this is why people don't watch our
Oh,
podcast.
that's
It's
a good
because it's
point.
basically that.
I
And there's no
basically just
twist at the end.
told people why they shouldn't like this because it's homework.
The twist is oh thank fuck it's over.
Yeah. The twist at the end is it's this podcast.
Yeah. Whoa. You just M. Night Shyamalan this.
Um, oh, speaking of other gigantic wastes of government money, have you heard about
Yeah.
this Golden Dome?
Yeah, a little bit. I made a joke about painting my head gold and being like, I'm Golden Dome of Canada.
Hey,
I
if you
can't
could get
remember why.
$500 billion.
That's the plan. That's the plan with the Golden Dome.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, Trump wants to like if you're familiar with the Iron Dome over Israel, Trump wants to make the Golden Dome over the US. But if you're saying, hey, Dale, don't we already have one of those? Isn't it called NORAD? And the answer is yes, we already have NORAD. And the thing about NORAD is the States needs Canada because we have fucking like Baffin Islands and whatever that fucking
Right.
shit is called that looks like an animal splatted with all those little islands above Hudson's Bay. I can't remember what that's all called, but all that stuff, we put like radar and stuff up there. And then we're like, hey, if China and Russia wants to shoot stuff over the North Pole, we'll be able to see it like a year before the States does because Canada actually goes way the fuck up north. So Trump wants to build this thing. I don't know. I don't understand what it is. I think it's
Is
just
this
like all
is
these.
it it's like Star Wars in the before the movie came out. The
Oh yeah,
Reagan
like the actual
administration, the
Star
Strategic
Wars.
Defense Initiative. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they want to like the Iron Dome in Israel is it has all these like radar and missiles that when the missile gets shot at them, they send other missiles to shoot down the missiles in the
Right.
air.
Yes. It's a
So he wants to
missile
do
on
that.
missile system.
And he
Hot
says,
hot missile on missile
yeah,
action.
he said it's going to cost like fucking hundreds of billions of dollars. I think it was 500 or 250, whatever. But then he also said if Canada wants in, they can either pay $61 billion or be the 51st state, which hurt my feelings
That would hurt your feelings.
because I feel like Canada's worth more than $61 billion. That seems
Oh, I
like
don't
a
know, Dale.
paltry
I don't
sum.
know.
I feel like
You're probably right.
there's Saudi money out there who could buy Canada if it's only $61 billion.
If it's yeah, that's true.
That's pretty
There's
low.
I think Rogers could buy Canada for
I was
61
thinking
billion
a
dollars.
trillion at least.
At least a cool trill.
Yeah. So there's this thing where it's like Trump wants to set this up, but then Canada's like, oh yeah, you kind of need us because we have half the NORAD satellites and stuff, and we're gonna spend $38 billion coming up to upgrade NORAD. I don't know. It's all like stuff. I should probably learn how to like learn before I start talking about this stuff. But the whole point, the whole gist of the story is Trump wants to build Golden Dome.
Yeah.
He's gonna need Canada to do it, but he's pretending like Canada's being like welcomed in if they pay this money. But it's like we also they can't build Golden Dome without Canada and our northern lands to put radar and stuff in.
Man, I was just thinking about this. So
Yeah,
Iron Dome is a rad name.
yeah.
Do you know much about metallurgy? I don't know why I even asked that. So
I know some about metallurgy. Not as much as I should, considering I'm a welder by trade.
Iron,
Yes.
very hard.
Yeah, it is.
Gold,
Very soft.
very soft. And while Golden Dome sounds rad,
Yeah.
it's a soft metal. Iron
It is
Dome, hard metal. That's going to stop shit getting in. Golden Dome, it's just going to fucking melt or squish out of the way.
Yeah.
It's worth way more than iron, but it's softer than iron. It's not going to really help you as a defensive system.
Yeah, that's just Trump's obsession. That's just Trump with
being
gold.
Like, Golden Dome. And then it's not like, it sounds good. Golden Dome, gold's the best metal. Everyone says it's the best metal.
Because Trump's like half Anunnaki and he melds everything out of gold. He's like, they got a toilet plated in gold.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like gold member of fucking Austin Powers.
Yeah. So I was just like, the whole time you were talking, I'm just thinking like gold is so soft. Like, why would you use gold as gold?
We really should be calling it like fucking carbon hardened steel.
Carbon hard.
Tool steel dome.
Carbon dome. I like
carbon steel dome.
I like carbon dome is awesome.
Tempered steel dome.
Yeah. I like
there you go.
Stainless dome.
Yeah.
Nice. I got out of control there about the metals, but that's
fine, buddy.
that's
I'm all for it. Hey, you know what? If you don't like metals, you don't like us.
Yeah, there you go.
What if that was someone's like, that's it.
That's your hill to die on.
So that's their red line. They're like, I'm unfriending these guys because they talked about metal too much.
They talk too much about metal. Oh, hey, I got a good segue. Oh yeah. So speaking of Trump, we have Trump Jr.
Okay.
And he's backing.
Yeah.
All Juice games.
Oh yeah, dude. I was like, where are you going with this?
So,
yeah. I am so pumped for this because it's like everybody was making this joke like, oh, they should just make a fucking Olympics where everybody's juicing up on whatever they can, and then we'll see what happens. Well, guess what? They're doing it.
In the 80s.
All the enhanced games.
In the 80s, Saturday Night Live did a whole sketch about this.
Oh, did they?
This guy, they did this whole thing at the Juiced Games or whatever. And the guy, a weightlifter walks up to the weight bar. And he bends down to pick it up. It's Kevin Nealon, and he bends down to pick it up. And he pulls up on the bar, and both his arms come out of the sockets. And he's bleeding everywhere. It's like fucking good. It's so good. I would love to see the enhanced games.
Okay, right? So
I'm going to bring this all the way back around.
Okay.
Anyone can compete. Yes. It's open to all genders in any category. How juiced can you get regardless of gender, and how hard can you win?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And it's you don't even have to juice. You could just go and compete.
Could go in the all juiced Olympics.
Yeah. So the investors are, like Jeff said, Donald Trump Jr. and Peter Thiel. The games are scheduled for the 21st, 24th of May, 2026 in Las Vegas. Athletes are allowed to use PEDs under
Really
medical
pumped for that.
oversight.
Yeah.
What?
So I guess I can't use as much as they want. I'm pumped for that. Like, yeah, man. So you can use perform. Like, could you imagine? I'm just like thinking about like a hockey game where
Yeah.
everyone's on steroids. Fucking
Um,
insane. Oh, but it's Summer Olympics, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
I'm
like
just
Summer
seeing.
Games.
Okay, there'll be
It's in Las Vegas, so it'll be a lot of swimming.
they'll race, lift, and swim with full access to drugs and therapies banned in virtually every other elite athletic setting. I'm pretty sure you were right when you were saying you can do as much as you want. I think they only said with medical oversight because they don't want to get sued if
Yeah, they don't
someone
want to get sued.
dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. From taking too
If
much
someone's
junk.
has a jammer and their heart blows up.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm actually more excited to watch this than I am the actual Summer Olympics.
So okay, here's my question though, like
Yeah.
about this. So are these going to be like people who've trained their whole life as
Mhm.
athletes who
Yeah.
also just happen to be juiced to the nines?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck, kid! And this is like can't must see TV.
Yeah.
I
So
would.
what it is it's
They're gonna
like,
pay per view it. They're gonna put it on pay per view. It's like
oh dude,
wrestling.
maybe it'll be on Netflix.
Oh my
Um,
god, I hope so.
Wait, so let's see. Build as a revolution in sport and science. The event
Yeah.
aims to embrace what organizers call superhumanity, a future where pharmaceutical and technological enhancement is normalized in elite competition. But while promoters cast it as a bold break from the past, critics are already raising alarms about safety, fairness, and fundamental integrity of sports. Get out of here, nerds!
Get out of here,
We want to
nerds.
see juiced up dudes
Barry
doing
Bonds has
stuff.
entered the chat.
Oh man, yeah,
I want to see all jacked baseball. That would be so fun too. I know
yeah.
I'm very much on the team sports here right now, and it's probably more individual sports like swimming or like fucking fencing, where you're like super skilled at fencing, but also jacked to shit, and you're just like just fucking
Yeah.
ripping people with the sword. Oh, I'm in. I'm in. I'm in for this.
um,
How do you know if you're done? Like, because you're so high on steroids, and like, how do you finish stuff? I have no idea how that
somebody
works.
comes and stops you, be like, "You're
You're done.
done.
You're fucking done.
Yeah.
Just getting murdered.
Um,
I'm gonna watch
okay.
that one from the comfort of my own home. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go live to that. There's no
So
way.
under the enhanced model, athletes can either compete naturally, follow independent enhancement protocols, or participate in a clinical trial using FDA approved drugs designated as investigational medical products. Okay. So it's basically like R&D for big pharma.
Sick.
I'm still in.
Yeah, I'm still. Yeah, I
I'm
can.
still in.
I can finally take Propecia and participate in a sport that I love. I'm gonna grow my hair back, and it won't count as an
Yes.
anabolic steroid. Perfect. I mean,
Um, I'm trying. Oh yeah, they win 500 grand per event.
that's like what half a month steroids. You're like sweet a year supply of steroids.
Yeah, sorry, Andrews just texted me.
No, all good.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Um,
really, what do you expect from Donald Trump Jr. and Peter Thiel, though?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, it's
honestly,
pretty great.
yeah.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do this so I can actually know
Find the right pause.
when to
Pause part.
I could just pause the recording.
You can pause the
I'll do
recording.
that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Had to take a little toddler break. My girlfriend and my kid just got back from the park, and I thought they were banging on the door because she wanted to get in, but it was actually the neighbors. So I don't know. I was like, wait, did they not want to hear me and Jeff talking
About
screaming about
enhanced
fucking
games.
Pedro Pascal?
Oh, that was it. That would be more. That'd be more likely.
But
That's
that was
more
like
accurate.
half hour ago. It couldn't have been that. Maybe they were just super stoked for the enhanced games. They're like,
Maybe
I
they
want
were.
to see juiced up dudes too.
They just want to see juiced up dudes live.
See their veiny rod in their swim trunks.
You know, they wouldn't be able to. They're on steroids. It's only this big.
Doesn't it make
Yeah.
your dink grow and your balls shrink?
Oh, maybe it's one or the other. I can't remember.
I
Especially
know
if
it's
you lift
one
weights with
grows
your
and
dick.
one shrinks.
Yeah,
It'd be hilarious if your
dick
balls
ups.
grew.
What are you doing there? Dick push-ups.
Yeah.
What? How?
Do you want to
Thinking about
wrap it up
Pedro
or do you
Pascal.
want to talk about anything else?
Was there anything in particular you wanted to go on this one?
I kind of want to talk about the bone drugs.
Oh, sure, we can talk about
I mean, that's a quick
bone
hit.
drugs in harmony. Let's do bone
So,
drugs.
well,
Or
it's
Sydney.
like not only did we get pink cocaine from Diddy, which I mean,
I don't think I know about that.
okay, so it's like they take cocaine,
Yeah.
which you're like, all right, good drug, totally fun. And then they add Molly,
Oh
and then they add a
shit.
bunch
No,
of
I'm
other
out.
stuff. And you're
No.
like, what was wrong with old cocaine? Like, do you guys needed like more to your cocaine?
Some people need a little extra. Take that shit to the juiced games.
I
People
mean, I
probably
guess if
do
you're
it
having
there.
a 4 day freak off, a little
I guess that's
regular
true.
cocaine's not going to cut
It's
it.
not
But
going to
it's
cut
just
it.
like,
Extra cocaine deluxe.
it's funny because up until I heard about this bone drug, I was like, pink cocaine. We're not going to top that as a species. It's pretty much the great. Like you have sex for 4 days, like as little as I want to
Ugh,
do that.
I don't have
I
any. I
just,
don't want to do that.
what do they pressure wash the hotel room when they're done? That just sounds
Oh,
like a stinky room.
they must.
Then
Sticky room.
I heard about this just popped up. I don't know why this my algorithm was like. My algorithm is like, hey Dale, here's some like super right wing content that's just gonna annoy you, or some random drug stuff. And okay, here I'll read you
Just
the
read it. This is wild. You go
I'll
ahead.
read you the headline
Okay.
and let's see if you get as interested in this as I did.
I can already
Ex
tell you
flight
I'm not.
attendant caught smuggling 100 pounds of deadly new drug made of human bones, faces decades in prison. So, this is where the naysayers are like, well, actually, it's not made with human bones every time. So, what happens is they call it Kush, which I thought Kush was
This
just
is
like a
like
type of weed.
a strain of weed, as far
Yeah,
as
that's
I
what I
knew. Yeah.
thought. But
All right.
I guess they're just trying to confuse us. So, here's the new super drug that's going to
Super
overtake
drug.
pink
Okay.
cocaine.
That's technically cannibalism. Anyway.
Yeah. Kush is a mixture of cannabis and synthetic cannabinoids, opioids,
Cannabinoids. Yeah.
e.g., nitazines similar to fentanyl, tramadol, formaldehyde,
Yeesh.
and ground up human bones. So you're getting fucking
Turbo wasted
weed,
with chemicals.
fentanyl, formaldehyde, and fucking bones.
Well, depending on where they're getting the bones from, there might be formaldehyde already in them.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, maybe
Right.
that's why they added that in.
Right.
So,
There's formaldehyde in cigarettes, though.
yeah,
It's a
that's
preservative,
why they
right?
make you high.
Yeah, makes the kush last longer.
So the thing about this is all in Sri Lanka. This ex flight attendant who's not a flight attendant. I don't know. It sounded like she was on like a 3 week vacation and then she flew to Sri Lanka and back. So here, how about this? Charlotte Maylee, who's only 21, also not ugly enough to be a drug smuggler. I
Oh,
was
she
just
has her
saying.
whole life ahead of her.
Yeah. Her whole life thrown away from the
Yeah.
United Kingdom was seized dead. Shit. I should have tried to figure out how to pronounce this before I agreed to read it out loud.
They're throwing in Sri Lankan words, and now
Yeah,
you're getting in trouble.
Bandaranaike Airport.
Bandaraniki. Yeah.
I mean, go to Sri Lanka and find out how to say it and prove me wrong. In the Sri Lankan capital of Colombo, I could say that
And
one.
one more thing, Colombo Airport is where's the capital of Sri Lanka? Is it
Yeah.
Colombo? Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Earlier this month, after allegedly carrying suitcase full of Kush, a new drug originating in West Africa, which kills an estimated dozen people a week in Sierra Leone alone.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, and it goes on to say that this drug is so bad in like Sri Lanka that people are robbing graves to get bones to grind up to use in it, and they like
Of course
had
they
to
are.
put like the military in the graveyards.
Please stop stealing the bones.
My next question, Jeff.
Yeah.
Gun to your head,
Mhm.
Matrix style, red pill, blue pill. Let's see how far this rabbit hole goes. You taking this or pink cocaine?
Oh my
You have to
god.
pick one.
Oh, huh. Probably. Oh, this goes against my better judgment. Probably the pink cocaine.
Yeah, I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
It's like the human bones thing. Like,
Mike, I'll get crazy and hug a guy for a little while, but I'm not gonna
mhm,
the human bones formaldehyde. The shit that's in that is like terrifying. Not that
mhm.
the shit that's not in pink cocaine is not terrifying. If I have to outweigh the scales, yeah. less terrifying. Two things are really terrifying, and one thing is slightly less terrifying. I'm going to do the slightly less terrifying thing, probably just out of self-preservation.
Yeah.
I don't want to get human bones high. I have no interest in that. Or like, watch I take that, and then I'm like really good at sex all of a sudden. Well, the shit's magical.
Yeah, maybe they should have been.
This has been for my entire sexually active life.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I think they're banging on the wall. So
again.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
So maybe I am being too loud for the neighbors.
Oh, are you in a different room?
No. That's the weird thing is I always do it here. Nothing's ever happened.
That's weird.
And I was like, maybe it's later than usual. Oh, maybe it's because it's Monday. I don't know.
Oh, maybe because it's Monday.
Whatever it is.
It's only 9.
I know.
Like, gee whiz.
Yeah.
You should post on the Strata chat about this. You should passive aggressively post on the Strata chat. My neighbor's banging on my wall.
And it's funny because like Ruby has like screaming fits in here. So
yeah.
I don't know. Huh. Maybe it sounds like bass. Anyways, if it is me and my lovely loud voice, I'm gonna end it there.
All right.
Because the last thing I need is my neighbor to hit me. So yeah, I mean that was like an hour anyway.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not feeling great, so we should probably.
Oh yeah, thanks for powering through. I wanted to say thanks for powering through.
I apologize for the sniffles.
And still showing up for your flu game.
Flu game.
Is that episode 270?
Holy crap! Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was 269. Nice.
269. Okay.
Please don't ever do that again.
Okay.
Oh, I've just seen something that only other people's vaginas have seen.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Maybe Pedro Pascal. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Until next time.
Stay angry.
Bye.
Bye.